Hello, everybody. Um, just popping on here today. I've got a few. So, I'm just thinking about mental health. So, mental health for anybody is individual. Like everybody has their issues. Everybody has their problems. But I think that in my situation, my way of living is a little different, and so it brings up its own problems and mental issues. For instance, uh, just even decision making. Where am I going to sleep tonight? What am I going to eat tonight? Like everybody has, I'm going to eat tonight. What am I going to eat tonight? But every day I have to think about where I'm going to sleep. Do I have enough fuel to make it through the night with my heater? Do I have enough water? Do I have, those things that most people in a sticks and bricks don't really have to worry about. They don't usually have to worry about, do they have heat? Because usually it just happens. The water just happens. They've already, paid the bills. They don't have to, for me, paying the bills is going and getting it. Go get the fuel, go get the water, make sure everything's, comfy. Where am I going to sleep tonight? Is the place I'm going to sleep tonight? What time does it open, close? What time does it open? What time does it, like what's the kind of people there? Do they clean the, do they have a snowplow throughout the night? All of these things are decisions to make. And a lot of them are easy decisions and usually don't really take a lot of brain power. But you can get decision fatigue just by doing all those little teeny tiny things. Like, what shirt should I wear in the morning? That's a decision, and then that takes up part of your decision making for the day. You've got a limited amount of decision making, a little bit amount of brain power that is prepared to do these things for you, and you get energy during the day, so the decision makings at night don't affect the daytime. But when every day you have to make so many decisions about, like I do living in a van, sometimes it can be just a little overwhelming. I do have some mental health problems. I have anxiety, and undiagnosed, I may have PTSD. I am 55 years old. Yes, I have a past. Childhood problems, childhood abuse. That is pretty normal for my age group, that there was some kind of abuse. But that doesn't mean that we're not affected in the later years. It's really funny because I constantly watch these people talk about like Gen Xers and, their personalities and stuff like that. And I'm like, of course we have these kind of personalities. Of course, we were latchkey kids. My parents didn't care. I was outside most of the time because if I was inside, my mom would find chores for me and I didn't want to do the chores. So I would go outside. But then, my parents had no idea where I was most of the time. I lived in a very quiet neighborhood. It was just outside of town, and it was it was just a quiet road. But it was one of only like 4 or 5 ways into the city, so there was, traffic. Not a lot, but like back then it didn't seem like anything. I remember one time I made an igloo in the snow that was piled up by the road, and I would climb inside the igloo and stay there, and it was great. Like, nobody came to look for me, nobody bothered me. It was fine. I went inside to get a drink of water. I came out and the snowplow would come by and completely filled it in. So I'm like, how lucky was that? And I told my mom about how annoying it was, and she's like, why are you doing that near the road? That's so dumb. I'm like, because you never told me not to. I'm young. I'm young enough to make a snow fort, for crying out loud. Anyway, I digress. I have so many stories that I just don't tell. Anyway, the point is, I've had history. I've had enough history that my brain has troubles. And they call it generalized anxiety because I just didn't look any farther. And neither did I. Neither did I. I had no idea I was even, did not know anything. Um, Someone came out to me as being ace 5 years ago. Anyway, it's part of the spectrum, the LGBTQ spectrum. And I am so naive that I had no idea what ACE even was. She had to tell me what it was. That is just an example of how I'm not uneducated. I have, I mean, I've been through college twice for two different things. I have had a pretty good job back in Ontario. But I was naive about so many things. I was kept under my parents' thumb by being a good girl. And then my husband's because he was in charge. And, like these are things that never came up. And if they did come up, they just didn't come up. They just didn't come up. When my kids were growing up, I always said, you don't have to be straight. You could be gay if you wanted to. Because I thought that was it. I thought that was it. I mean, I would support them 100% for whatever they wanted to do, but I honestly didn't know that there was anything else. I was kept under a thumb and encouraged to believe that what they said was true, that there wasn't anything else out there. And even growing up, it was like there's a right way to do things, and that's it. That's it. There's no other way to do things. You can't do it any other way. It has to be done this way. And I think it's part of my obsessive behavior right now. I have a little bit of an obsessive disorder. I'm sure of it. Undiagnosed, of course. I'm completely undiagnosed except for generalized anxiety. I'm taking this all in because I'm trying to figure myself out. Because I'm living here alone, and I've been living alone for, since August. Now I have my friends. You've heard of my friends before. They are absolutely 100% amazing. And they are there whenever I need them. And part of the reason I understand what I understand is because of them. But I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to be there to support them, to save them. Now, my daughter never expected me to support her or save her. That is part of where my mental health comes in. I felt that I needed to support her and save her. And that is what I had for all of my life with all of my family, which is pretty much why I'm here in Nova Scotia, or in New Brunswick, because my family took advantage of me because I was always there and I was always ready to do anything for anybody in the family. I had a friend out there who was she would lie to get me to do things. And I'd be, oh, okay. Yeah, like totally, whatever. And then, you know what? I'm rambling. But this is where my brain comes in. So I don't know where my memory, my mind comes from. It's kind of like blank. It's like totally blank. And whatever comes out, comes out. I don't see things in my head. If you say, hey, imagine an apple and imagine that, I can't imagine an apple. I can't imagine what it tastes. I don't. There's nothing there. So whatever comes out, comes out. And it's rambly. It's rambly. Sorry. It's hard to be my friend. Okay. So I figured out that there was a problem at home back in Ontario when, having a conversation with my husband about how things are making me unhappy. And I left the conversation thinking everything was my fault. And I'm the one who had to change. And I'm like, okay, yes, absolutely. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, that's always the answer. The answer is always that I'm the one that's wrong. So that is one of the reasons that I have left that situation. Um, so I've been in New Brunswick for 5 years, almost 5.5 years, and my daughter was with me for 5 of those years. So really, not a lot changed. Like, I felt a lot freer because most of my problems were left behind, but I still had problems. I still had concerns and issues and, things that, you know, like, you could tell I was having a problem day because my math went first. And I work in a pharmacy. I need to know math. So, little things like, taking it 4 times a day, how many tablets do you need? And my brain would go, I don't know. Like, nothing was there. It's not like I'd be like trying to figure it out in my head. No, nothing was there. Obviously, I'm figuring it out in the back brain, but on stage, nothing. Backstage, I don't know what the hell it was going on backstage. Some kind of confusion. Anyway, that's my brain. We work with it. It's fine. But anyway, okay, there's also this. I don't remember exactly what I was talking about. And I haven't even turned the camera off yet. I just don't always remember. But I did leave. And then I got here. And then was with Tabitha and my daughter. And everything was fine. Like, I thought everything was improved. And like, my financial system was going in the pot and going in the pot and going in the pot, and I couldn't figure it out because, I kind of realized what I was doing, but wrote it off because what else could I have done? Like, we needed a freezer. What else could I have done? I put it on credit. I didn't use the freezer. My daughter used the freezer, which is fine. But I thought our house needed a freezer because there's only one way to do things, and that's to buy a freezer for a house. So, my past and my present people pleasing has been an issue with me for a very long time. Since my daughter has moved and I am here trying to survive on my own with amazing friends, but like, they stay out of my house, they stay away from me to give me the chance to learn who I am, to figure out where I'm going, to be me by myself. They are there for when I say, hey, I need friendship this weekend. What are you doing? We talk during the week. It's not like they don't talk. We don't talk at all. It's just that, once in a while, once a month or so, I just go to their house and just be immersed in family and, knowing that they all like me for who I am, not what I can do for them, which is really nice. And not usual. So, like, I'm getting someplace. I have started to look on YouTube and look at things outside of myself, look at things outside of the area that I'm in, the personality that I am, the age group that I am, and looking outside of everything and seeing sort of where I sit. And when I sit with myself, what I actually feel. I was saying to my friend the other day, I don't know what actual feelings are. Like, there's happy, and then there's proud, and I don't know the difference all the time. And, like, anger and jealousy and fear, they confuse me. And I think, obviously that's part of my upbringing because we didn't talk about feelings. Well, yeah, that's got to stop. We need to talk about feelings. But anyway, like, I know when I brought my kids up, there are a few things that confused me, and I tried to imbibe them in with my children. I took them to places where they would learn such things that maybe perhaps I couldn't really help with, and I know that I did an okay job of being a mom. And you can always say, oh, I was the best that I could be with the knowledge that I had, which I did try to do. I really did try to do the best that I could with the knowledge that I had. with the knowledge that I have now, I'm like, wow, I knew nothing back then. I was so naive. I really, honestly, like, there's a whole LGBTQ community out there that I had no idea about. And quite honestly, it was thriving way before I even figured it out. Like, it's not like it was hiding. And it was hiding from my childhood, sure, but 5 years ago, it was more than thriving, and I still didn't know about it. So it's just, I'm learning. I'm learning from the outside in. I am my friends and my daughter especially remind me when I'm saying the wrong thing, when I am interpreting things incorrectly because of my past, because I don't want to be or interpret it incorrectly. I would like to be correct. I would like to be. I have a friend who is not the gender they were perceived at birth. And so I knew them at birth. So 90% of the time, I call them the gender they prefer. But occasionally it slips out with the gender that is not. Now, this person forgives me. They know that I have no will wishes. I just want the very, very best for them. I really do. I want them to feel comfortable in their skin. I want them to be happy. You know, like, I don't even care. Like, I don't care. I want her to be him, them. I would like them to be happy. I would like them to be, I would like me to be happy. But, you know, I mean, like, I don't want being misgendered to be something that hurts them. And occasionally, when it hits, I'm at the point where I can say, I've done something wrong. Whereas in the beginning, sometimes I had to be reminded. It was because of where I was at the situation, and because I don't live with it. I don't see this person very often, but when I do, I don't want to be rude. You know, I don't want to be inconsistent. You know, but I don't live with it constantly. And so if I lived with it on the day-to-day like they do, it would be on the front of my mind. You know, it's like my weight is constantly on my mind. You know, like, do I feel skinnier today? Do I feel fatter today? I don't even have a scale because I can't even stand up straight in my house, so scales won't work. But because of that, I am constantly thinking about it. But I don't think about what this person thinks. And so it's not my day-to-day, so I don't think about it. So babbling and babbling is all to say that my mind, my issues, they changed, they rearranged, they became explainable and understandable once I started to see outside of where I was and outside of who I was. Seeing other people as not just friends and friends' children, but other people. Not accepting lies for friendship. Not accepting being in charge of everything. And then being yelled at for not getting everything right. You know, when I stopped, and now I'm by myself. And now everything's my responsibility and everything is my fault. And also, I'm okay with it. You know, I'm better at things. My mind is clearer. I have less anxiety issues knowing where it's come from. One of the things of PTSD is when your body gets body memories. And so sometimes it just sort of like, you get a weird feeling or it freezes up or, you know, all of a sudden you're terrified. And, you know, you think, oh, that's anxiety. But it's not. It's terrified. And I've been like trying to figure this out all my life. And then once I realized what it was, I can say, okay, look at me. I'm perfectly fine. I am safe here at work. There is nothing to terrify me. Why am I terrified? Don't know. Behind my veil, I can't tell. But I do know that convincing myself that I am not terrified because I know I'm terrified will calm me down faster than any lorazepam or medication. And I do still take medication. Don't get me wrong. I don't take lorazepam. I take an anxiety medication, but I'm not giving that up because I don't have enough knowledge to be able to change anything like that. I'm just trying to learn about my feelings and where things are coming from. So, as to how that fits into van life, has a lot of challenges. I can't just make a cup of tea. I can't just throw a pot of water on. I need to get out my stove. I need to hook up my stove. I need to get out a pot. I need to go find the water. I gotta, there's multiple steps. Getting cleaned up in a shower. That's multiple steps. Even if you have a shower in a any place that actually has a shower, you have to first find out if you have the money. You have to go to that place, find out if they have any space for you and time for you. Like that on top of doing the thing is work. It's work for your brain. It is. And even with all the extra work that I'm doing on my brain, being alone and living this lifestyle is amazing, and it's wonderful, and it has cleared my head, and understanding who I am and where I'm coming from has made my anxiety way lower. It's it's those attacks of anxiety out of nowhere where you're like, I don't even know what's going on. I have no idea why I'm so scared. And then trying to figure out what's going on, and then like here I am a couple of years later thinking, oh, I know why I'm scared. And it's not going to scare me because I'm here and I am safe. And once I start that and I, take a drink, settle down, I'm fine. I get past it so quick. It's so good, but even then there's the mental fatigue of the decisions, like, what am I going to do to settle myself down? Take a drink. Okay, well, that's a decision that I have to make. Where am I going to get the drink? It's usually right in front of me. I usually have a drink with me, but like that's still decision. Decision fatigue is really a lot of the triggers and tiredness and feelings, and sometimes I just spend a lot of time in bed not deciding, just letting YouTube wash over me, or listening to a book. I have found that a book series that I know and love, and I listen to it all the time. I listen to it falling asleep at night because I can't just sleep with nothing. But like when I'm really anxious, I just sit down and listen to the book and get past the day. Get thinking of something else, and my brain straightens out again. That's all really that I needed, was to understand that I am safe, that I am fine. It's fine. Mental health is no joke for anybody. It is, it's really something that really needs to be talked about in the open everywhere. When I was young, I was told to sweep it under the rug. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. When my youngest daughter was in high school and she started getting some anxiety, really bad anxiety, we went to the doctor, we got some medication, we talked about history, we talked about everything. And I said to her, keep it to yourself. And she goes, why? I don't care if people know if I have anxiety. And I was like, she is so brave. And it's not about being brave. It's just, people have to know. People need to know. You have to say the things. You have to say, I'm not okay today. But it will be. Because I am taking care of myself. And I will be fine. I will be fine. So anyway, this is getting long. And I just wanted to pop on, and I know I'm rambling. I'm rambling, and not because there's nobody here, but because that's the way my brain works. There's so many things to mental health. You can't just put it down to one thing. Everything affects it. Everything. I get addicted to things, which is why I think I'm an obsessive disorder, because, I'll be like, oh, I need donuts. Oh, I need donuts. Yeah, today's a bad day. I need donuts. And then I'm like, I don't like donuts. I really want a donut. And I'll be like, oh, ice cream. And after ice cream, now it's cookies. And I know it's obsessive. And so I try to slow down, try to cut it out. But it's not an easy thing when you crave cookies, even though you know that it's dumb, that it's not the smartest thing to do in your head. It's not. I know I don't want cookies. I know what I want is an obsessive thing. But that's what it is. It's today it's cookies. So that's what I do. That's what I do. It's one of the reasons that I stay fat, because I listen to my obsessive. Because also I can go around and not eat cookies. And then I'm anxious because I'm not eating. I'm not having cookies and I just want a little bit of sweet and talk myself into it. And hey, sometimes you just want the easy way out. Sometimes you just want the cookies because you want the cookies. And that's okay. Yeah. So, another day. Fine. That's fine. I don't go through my day with anxiety all the time. That's why I have medication, so I can get through my day without anxiety. It's just those anxiety attacks. And what I think, according to this PTSD thing, childhood PTSD thing, that I'm sort of, I'm swayed towards thinking I have it. It's just that, you get body memories. You get your brain thinks of something that happened, and sometimes in my dreams there's things that are happening that I'm like, that was like a long time ago. Like I know this in my dream that it was a long time ago, and that it's not what's going on now, but you still wake up feeling anxious, and for that short time after you wake up, you're like, oh no, and you're like, no, just a dream, you're safe, I'm perfectly safe. My mind still messes up. But then who doesn't? I'm just one of many. Just one of many. But I'm here to say, I have mental issues, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I work through my day. We're good. Sorry for rambling. Thanks a lot for listening. You have a lovely day. Bye.